Hello, and welcome to another episode of the YBI's Innovators Insights podcast. I am Karrington Griffin, your host. And wait, let's stop. Let's pause. Let's give a round of applause for the podcast. Today, I have two very important guests here with me. We have one of our sharks from this year's 2025 Shark Tank. And then also I have Mr. Shark Tank himself. He is our director of development, Luke Politsky. Luke, I'm going to let you introduce our shark today. They haven't heard your voice, so let's start with you. Yes.
Well, they're in for a real treat then.
Oh, don't we know?
We're happy to have Wayne Mackey as one of our sharks. Wayne is originally from the area and left for a while and is back. So we're happy to have him along for our Shark Tank ride this year.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Happy to be back. Yeah.
Yes.
Be fun.
Wayne, okay. Before we hit record, I had a icebreaker for you.
Yeah.
And then before I asked the question, I kind of prefaced it with a statement. And then you said something and I said, you know what, we're going to hit record and then ask the question. Yeah. So many of the listeners do not know I am a musician. And I started off by saying that, and Wayne goes, I am too. And I said, wow, that's great. So today's icebreaker, and this is something new, but on our walk over, we were just, me and two of my coworkers, we were talking, and for some reason we said, hey, if you could be the person that wrote any song, what would that song be? I'll give you my answer. My answer was, You've Got a Friend in Me. I said, for some reason,
Randy Newman.
I wish that I was the person that got a line in there, got a sentence, got a comma. I wish I was in the room for that song. So I give you a couple seconds. Any song.
So many.
Yes.
This is a really good question. Hallelujah.
Ooh.
Or almost like
Leonard Cohen.
Yeah, or almost like any amazing storytelling, Bruce Springsteen, Neil Young, Ben Folds, like great storyteller songs. Like those are the ones that I'll hear and I'm like,
is Piano Man and Bruce?
Elton John or Billy Joel. Yeah.
There we go.
But I'm always admire songwriters that could like tell a story. Like it just seems so much harder than just like, I'm just gonna say my feelings. I'm just whatever. But like to tell a captivating story that someone can also relate to is like, how do they do that?
I love it.
Crazy.
I love it. Great answer. Let's shift. And
I don't get to answer.
You're right.
Mine would be It's a Small World.
It's a small world.
We're going to follow the Disney that I've admired, the Sherman Brothers, for years.
Okay.
They were the first and I believe only staff composers on the Walt Disney World, or not Walt Disney World, Walt Disney period company. So they wrote a lot of music, and It's a Small World is the only song that it's played constantly throughout the world 24/7, just because of where the Disney parks are located.
Fun fact.
So if there's anybody getting rights to that, they don't own. There are no royalties on it. So I'm pretty sure. I'm not a lawyer.
Okay.
I didn't play one on TV either.
Fun fact of the day.
But they would be very, very rich.
Very, very
capitalized
rich and
on that. They're just good people.
I love it, Luke. Thank you. I apologize I didn't give you that opportunity.
That's okay. I'm a musician too.
Luke is also a musician.
We don't care about that today.
Not today. Nor the fact that I'm one, nor the fact that Lizzie, who's over here on the couch, is one. Let's shift our focus. And the reason why we are both in all here is Shark Tank 2025. I love having people in the studio with me because the round of applause, it's like real.
Is this how these usually go?
I do a couple claps here and there, but normally it's just me. So having extra guests, it helps out. So Wayne, tell us about your company. Let's backtrack. Tell us about yourself. After you do that, can you tell us about your company?
Yeah, sure. So I'll try to weave the two together, at least in terms of an origin story. So I guess I'm a neuroscientist by trade. That's what, as Luke alluded to, led me kind of out of the area. I went to NYU to pursue a PhD in neuroscience. I stayed there for a postdoc at NYU in the Simons Foundation. but I am a lifelong gamer who has lost jobs and relationships from playing too many video games over the years. And I was actually a really, really horrible student. Like, I barely graduated high school. I had like a 1.8 GPA. I thought math and science were like the dumbest things in the world. Like, oh, if 2 trains leave a station at the same time, who gets there faster? Like, who cares?
Who cares?
Like, I don't care about any of this at all.
Yeah.
I just thought it was useless. But I love video games. So like 8th, 9th grade, you know, we got our computer and I just wanted to learn how to make games. I was like, yeah, I think like most people who play games, you have ideas. I was like, oh, I want to try making games. I didn't know that you needed to know a little linear algebra. You kind of needed math and science to be able to pull off the things that you wanted to do. So, you know, games kind of became my Trojan horse into, you know, discovering that like maybe science is cool. And, you know, growing up here, none of my family like graduated from college. So like I graduated high school and it was just like, you just go to work. Like, college, I didn't even think about it. It was like that's for other people. It's for like smart people or people who have like money or something like that. It was like other people go do that. So I went and worked like just a myriad of wild jobs, from selling cars to call centers to waiting tables to, you know, fighting mixed martial arts matches before they were cool 20 some years ago. Yeah, that kind of beat some sense into me a little bit, but ended up going to college in my late 20s, maybe 26, started to take it seriously. And I thought, if I get this little piece of paper that says computer science, someone will hire me as a game developer.
They'll take you seriously.
Yeah, that's it. That I just need that little piece of paper. And then I went to college and I hated it. I was like, man, this is so boring. Computer science is super boring. I'm like making games and I'm like, this is how you make a calculator. I'm like, this sucks. Like, I don't want to do this. Yeah. And the procrastinator that I always am, I would register for classes like at the very last minute. And there was this neuroscience class available and I needed an elective. And I was like, yeah, the brain, maybe that's cool. And I took that class and like the first week, I fell in love like immediately. Wow. I was blown away. Wow. I didn't know this was a thing, by the way, either. It was like, wait, we don't know anything about the brain and someone like pays you just to think about that. Like you just wake up and just like, see if we can figure it out. Yeah. I don't know. And they like give you money to like, that's a real job.
That's a pretty cool job at that.
That sounds awesome. Yeah. Like, that sounds awesome.
That's what you're into. Yeah.
Yeah. And especially when I realized like the brain really was just like this alien computer dropped off on Earth that everyone's trying to like reverse engineer. They have no idea how it works. It's just this complicated computer-like thing. So I was like, oh, I got to do that. That sounds really cool. And changed my major, started doing research at Fox Chase Cancer Center in the behavioral medicine department, moved to a lab that was focusing on like computerized training for the brain, which was really interesting to me, which was this idea that you could use like little computer games. I mean, they weren't really games, game-like computer exercises that would have a positive impact on some aspect of human abilities, like memory, reading comprehension, attention, something like that. And growing up in games, that was fascinating to me because, well, it was not as cool as it is today to say that you play video games back then. It was just something that's like, you're an outcast, it's going to rot your brain. You know, it was all negative things. Right. Like, yeah, it's like,
there was a stereotype.
Yeah. The brain, it's just not good for you. Like, it's just unhealthy. So this idea that there was this lab that's like, wait a minute, there might actually be healthy, positive impacts of these kind of computerized things. And that really stuck with me when I look back. While I was at NYU, you know, I had this idea. I remember seeing, it was an ESPN. It was an article, and this is probably 17 years ago, something like that. But ESPN was covering video games. There was like this interview with some pro team owners and stuff like that for video games. At first, I'm like, ESPN is covering video games? Like, that's crazy and amazing. And there was a quote from a dude, Steve Aronset, who owned Team Liquid at the time. And he said something to the effect of like, well, video games aren't like traditional sports. I can't measure how far someone throws a ball and use that information and that data to, for instance, scout players or know who should be on my team. It seemed like they didn't know what the fundamental skills in gaming were. Like, what's the analog of running fast, jumping high, being strong? Like, what are those, you know, components? But then also, how do you even measure them if you do know those things? And as a scientist at the time, I'm like, this is what we do in the lab every day, like cognitive skills, motor skills, perceptual skills. Like, this is just what we do. And I was like, that seems like a really interesting problem to try and solve, is could we build something where we can measure these skills and help scout players for professional teams? That was the initial idea. It changed from there to kind of what it is today, but that was the initial idea, at least.
That is I'm going to go back to when you were talking about storytelling.
Yeah, that was not a short story, by the way.
No,
Sorry, I tried to cram a lot in.
You did a great job. But that's a great, I'm interested. Like, I would have never, ever in 1,000 years thought that that was your origin story.
Yeah.
And just hearing some of and I know that there's more that you may have left out for a reason. So I commend you, and I'm interested. Maybe offline we'll talk some more.
Yeah, for sure.
To get my brain going.
Yeah.
So with Shark Tank this year, let me ask you, what is it that you are looking for and looking forward to from some of our entrepreneurs who are looking to pitch that evening?
I'm a big fan of Shark Tank. When I had started my company when we were at NYU, I remember someone at NYU was like, "Hey, Shark Tank, the televised Shark Tank, is look, do you guys want to be on it?" And I remember watching. I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not brave enough for that. That's tough. So I'm excited to I love hearing kind of founder stories, the passion behind why are you? There's better ways to make money than starting a company. There's easier ways to make money, to have work-life balance, whatever that means. So what is really driving you to do that? And I love understanding those stories and just seeing that passion in people, because, even doing this myself for 10 years, it revitalizes me and gives me back that energy of and what it was like going from 0 to 1, which is my favorite time of a company. So I find it really, really inspiring. So I'm looking forward to seeing interesting ideas and interesting founders and hearing what they're passionate about. I think is going to be what I look forward to the most.
I love it. Great. I'm going to pause right there. Any of those entrepreneurs listening, he said inspiration, and there was another I word that you said.
Innovation.
Interesting.
I don't know. Interesting. That's it.
Let's use that one too. I like that though.
Yeah.
So interesting, innovative, and our last one is Luke.
I thought I said innovative. I should write these down.
We should write these down. But anyway, great advice. Well, no, let me ask you, what is some advice? I know you said you would be a little nervous.
Yeah.
We don't have some of the televised sharks, but we do have some, respectable like yourself sharks who will be in the room and on the stage. What is some advice that you could give to our entrepreneurs who may be a little nervous, looking forward to that night?
I think that the biggest thing, and what always helps me, is to realize that those feelings of nerves and everything is just normal. Just embrace it and don't worry of just I'm nervous. Because I'm nervous, am I going to perform poorly? Am I going to mess up? Am I going to whatever? Maybe you will. It's okay, because most people do. It happens. It's normal, and no one's expecting kind of perfection. And I feel often at least in my experience from what I've seen and for myself, when I try to rehearse too much, it gets to a point where it doesn't feel like I'm
stuck on that.
Yeah. And I'm not connecting to the audience, and it's no longer kind of that. So I don't think, at least myself, I'm not expecting some lights and fire presentation. It's more of I really just want to hear the sincerity and just tell your story and pretend no one else is there and just kind of connect with someone in the audience and explain to them kind of your thing. I think is the easiest. It's normal to be nervous. You're going to be nervous. You're going to make mistakes. Who cares? I don't care. That's going to happen. And hopefully that lets people let go of some of that fear or anxiety.
Great advice for us. Luke, I'm going to pivot and come over to you. As I said earlier, this is Mr. Shark Tank himself, our director of development, Luke Politsky.
It is a team.
It is a team. Yes, sir. It is a team. Luke, let me ask you, when we look at Shark Tank and the evolution of Shark Tank, what we are in the 6th year.
This is the 6th year.
6th year of Shark Tank.
YBI Shark Tank.
YBI Shark Tank.
So you have to say YBI Shark Tank because it's very different than Shark Tank.
Let's go there. What makes this event different or special?
The community aspect is what makes it different and special for us. It's that our sharks all are either local or have local ties. They all have, even from the beginning. And I came in year 3, I believe. So every year we've had, for the most part, a different school of sharks. All of them have local ties. They all have businesses in the Valley. They know what it's like to own a business. They know what it's like to own a business in Mahoning Valley in Northeast Ohio. And going back to Lenny Fisher, who is our one of our great sharks from the past, and Lenny's a great friend of YBI and a sponsor. Has locations all over the country.
Right.
So a humble ice cream shop on the south side of Youngstown is now I think has more locations in California than they do in Ohio.
Wow.
So these sharks they're local, but the life experiences everybody's had. It's very humbling to know that they're taking time out of their busy lives and coming and being with us.
Yes.
So we got the local sharks and we got the local companies or the locally tied companies. So, we go through this kind of back and forth. What's a good balance every year about do we just want to feature local companies, or do we want to feature companies maybe outside the area or outside the region? Local companies makes us feel good about what's happening in Youngstown.
Absolutely.
Because these are homegrown people. Companies applying from outside the region gives us credibility, because this isn't just like, somebody from Chicago or New York or California is believing in what we're doing here in Youngstown, Ohio. So I think both is good. We like to see who applies every year. And we need to look at the entertainment value too. In the end, companies have gotten investment. There will be a prize this year, more than one prize. That's the surprise.
Okay.
But the real end all is that this is a fundraiser for YBI, which is a nonprofit organization. We don't talk about that enough. We are a nonprofit organization.
Right.
It's difficult to see businesses being supported by a nonprofit organization, because usually it's the other way around.
Right. Absolutely.
But we have corporate sponsors who support YBI. We have government funding that supports YBI, but that's all to give support to entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
So it's a really interesting organization, and it's an interesting fundraiser.
Beautiful. I like something you said there. I don't know if this was planned, but it flowed very well. You said the school of sharks.
We've been using that phrasing, and that's a Barb thing. That's a Barb Ewing thing. As we try to play up the shark puns.
Got it. Got it. In YBI fashion. Yeah.
There's way too much time in the day to be boring for most of it. So in fact, we're going to retool some things maybe for this year, definitely for next year. More shark puns. People like the shark puns.
People love the shark puns.
How could they not?
Yeah.
We're fun people.
We are fun people at the YBI.
We are fin people.
That one didn't land.
Yeah.
Well,
that one didn't land.
It's only one letter off. Sharks have fins.
Yes.
So we're fin people.
Wayne. This is great.
Laughing at my expenses.
This is great.
Is the greatest gift that I give to
It's
the
very
world.
fin. It's very fin.
Ooh.
I'm having a lot of fin. I'm going to say that later.
That one landed.
And like no one will know what I'm talking about. And they're just going to be like, what is wrong? The heat is getting to him. Like, what is
The heat and the coffee.
yeah. It was a bad choice.
Wayne, I told you we're going to have fun. We're going to laugh a little and then learn a little bit about each other. Wayne, do me a favor. I want to wrap us up. You gave us a lot of great information. Luke, thank you so much. You gave us a little information. I'm going to come back to you to wrap us up, to talk about sponsorships and all of that. So
Great.
Be ready. That was, I know you don't need me to.
My thinking.
There we go. There we go. Thank you. But Wayne, as we look and we close out with how can, if I was an entrepreneur and I wanted to pick your brain, if I wanted to, I might be putting this out there, but if I just wanted to learn more about what you do, how could someone get in touch with you?
Just email me.
Okay.
Like I really think it's that simple and important, and don't be scared. I think why a lot of people are very happy to do things like you mentioned, the sharks coming in and like donating their time or whatever, is because that was also done for us. Like right. I wouldn't have had any success if it wasn't for like countless generous people that had also been through things and like come back and try to save me from their scars and all of the other things and just help out. Right. Like it's a very satisfying thing to do. So, I mean, literally just find me on LinkedIn, message me, just email me.
Can do that.
Can you do like post effects or like put email address like right here?
We will see.
WEMACKEY@gmail.com.
There we go.
Just email me. I'm happy to kind of chat about anything.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Reach out, LinkedIn, connect, all of that good stuff. Yeah. Luke, I am a corporate CEO in Youngstown. How do I sponsor this event?
I'm so happy you mentioned that. We sponsors are really the lifeblood of what keeps Shark Tank going. YBI Shark Tank going.
YBI, yes.
This year we have set the goal for ourselves as an organization to have 70 sponsors.
Nice.
Last year we came close to that, but we want to have 70 sponsors.
Where are we at now?
As of right now, we have 30.
Nice. Okay.
So we're almost halfway there.
Almost halfway.
Sponsorships start at $1,750 and go all the way up to $15,000.
Love it.
So depending on how much of your budget, again, we're a nonprofit organization.
Which means what?
So you can get tax.
There we go.
Tax incentive. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm legally,
a financial advisor.
Financial. Thank you, Wayne.
That landed.
Great. Cannot give financial advice, but we are a 501c3. Sponsorships are they're a big way of how companies, corporations, individuals, foundations make donations to YBI. And we get to have fun with it too.
Absolutely.
Our shark mascot will go out to companies and have fun, which is one of our favorite things to do. Take the shark around. People love the shark.
People do love the shark.
More information about sponsorship is available on our website, ybi.org/Shark Tank. Also on the website,
yes,
very timely right now, the pitch application season is officially kicked off. As of the launch party, when Wayne and the rest of the sharks were introduced to the community, we have that application open on our website, again, ybi.org/Shark Tank. And it's a modest size application. There are some different things that we expect companies to be able to provide us.
Right.
And one of those that's a little bit newer for us is a video. So we want to see how, the kind of the show quality
absolutely
of the entrepreneur getting up there and being able to articulate what their company does in a short form too. So, these pitches sometimes seem to go by pretty quickly.
Right.
But you got to know what you're talking about. And if you can't boil that all down to a couple sentences for a very short 1-minute video, then I'm not going to give any business advice either. Maybe we need to meet with one of our business counselors.
So I actually, that was a great segue. So what I don't think we talk about this is, after we select those entrepreneurs who will pitch, what is that next phase? What do they do from the time we select and the time of the competition? Though I don't know if everyone knows this, but they have time to meet with some of our business advisors who help, get them ready, get them geared up.
Time and expectation.
Yes.
So we have set a minimum number of meetings with YBI staff, either through our Minority Business Assistance Center, which you work for, and our Evolve Technology Entrepreneurship Program that Chandler Fiffick is the senior director, I believe. So among all of our staff at YBI, we help to get the companies ready to pitch.
Right.
It is different than pitching to family and friends. It's different than even pitching to angel investors, because this is this is a show.
Right.
I mean, it is like Shark Tank, the TV show, in the way that there's a stage for the sharks and there's a stage for the entrepreneur, and they go back and forth. They need to be ready for, clearly articulating what they're doing, and also be able to take the questions from the sharks.
Thank you for that information, Luke.
Happy to provide it. The application closes on August 4th. Oh man, I should know that.
All right, do you want to check?
Let's check.
You check.
I think it was the 5th last year, so it should be the
5th.
The 5th. See, this is what
I'm
going to
do this all
Two
day.
for
No
two.
one's going to have any idea.
August 4th is the closing day.
August 4th.
Applications
close. And with all of that information, I think that is going to conclude our episode today. Wayne, thank you for taking time out your day.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
This was fantastic. Thank you for the assist there. But no, I really enjoyed our conversation.
And now we are almost finished.
We are finished. Thank you, Luke. But again, Luke as well, thank you for taking your time out. Luke, I think I'm going to talk to whoever I need to talk to make sure that you are on every episode moving forward when we talk
every episode.
Maybe just our
how about
with
the
sharks?
Shark Tanks?
Yes, with our sharks.
The Shark Tanks.
Absolutely, with our sharks. You are a wealth of knowledge, and we appreciate you. Wayne, thank you again. I'm going to take you up on that offer to chit chat outside of this. Maybe we do a little musician talk.
Let's do it.
And then a little bit of neuroscience talk.
Yeah, let's do it. It'll be fun.
But you got to
bring my accordion.
You can bring your accordion, but you have to with the neural talk, bring it down to musicians level. Okay.
Easy.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Easy.
There we go.
Easy.
All right. Thank you. Thank you to our listeners and to our viewers. This has been another episode of the YBI's Innovators Insights podcast. Thank you all. We'll see you next time.